So guys, thank you so much for getting on the call with this.
A training call, but this will be 2 seconds. I'm just going to tell you what to do. You ready?
Quick. You know,
are you in front of your computer?
People start talking. All right, I'm going to mute everybody. Here we go. And continue. What are you doing to me, Jess? Okay, so this is our One Team University. We've linked arms with people all across the world in Isagenix, and we're bringing you just some great tidbits from amazing people. And I'm excited about tonight because I have brought you guys Jessica Rigner, who was just recently announced as one of our Isagenix Millionaires. But she wouldn't give me her bio because she's too humble. And I absolutely love that about her. And in just a very, very short time, she has become somebody that I admire the utmost. And I'm not going to even get emotional here. But I'm so proud of this woman. You know, Isagenix truly does bring out the best in people, but it also brings the best people into your life. And so you guys are going to get so much fabulousness tonight from this girl. She's going to keep it real and be honest and blunt. So make sure you guys have your notebooks out. Try to get into a place where there's not a lot of distractions, if you can do that. All right, Rochelle's got her notebook and her replenish. Good job, girl. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the timer to Jessica, and you're going to have to unmute yourself, hon. Can you do that?
Yes, I can.
If I can find you.
Thank you so much. I can't even tell you what your friendship has done and how much I've learned from you. And being in Arizona with you just recently was just so cool. And then to ask me to do this, it's just crazy. And if you are new to Isagenix or you've been in it for a long time, there is so much magic to this company. And the beautiful thing about it is the people. Mm-hmm. The opportunity is amazing. The products are incredible, but it's the people that make this company so unique. And so the topic that I'm going to talk about is building a team, creating momentum. But if you guys are okay with it, and I can't see your heads nodding or refusing because you're black for me right now, but I'll share my story, and I think we'll start there, and I'll talk to you about how what we've created has been born. So in October, really late October, really early November of 2013, I start these products with the sole intention of disproving that they work. Because I had tried so many things, like many people, I had tried so many programs that had failed me, and I had failed. And I thought, I'll just try this one last program just to prove that it's me, something's wrong with me. And my background, so I didn't give Trisha a background because I wanted to be able to share my bio, but my background is in corporate America. And as a pretty young person, I had a very successful career. I was the 5th employee of a company that was sold to Citibank in 2008 for $250 million. I ran network marketing for that company, along with many other things. But one of the verticals that I ran for this electronic payments company was network marketing. And by an ironic twist, Isagenix was a client of ours. I used to visit Patty Raphael on Price in Chandler on a quarterly basis. But I had many other network marketing clients. So clients would be Amway, Avon, Mary Kay, any company that you can think of was talking to us or working with us already. And what we did was deliver commission payments to associates, distributors, coaches, whatever you want to call their people that were distributing their product. We handled the dispersion of their commissions. We sold the company in 2008 to Citibank. I stayed on, like most executives, to help with the transition. And for 4 years, we were required. That was part of our agreement. And so now I'm working at a major global financial institution, still running network marketing. I was on the board of the DSA, which is, if you know anything about the industry, the governing body of all of the companies is called the Direct Selling Association. And I became this default expert on compensation plans because we needed to know, how frequently do these companies pay? What kind of a plan is it? How many people make under $100? How many people make over $1 million? And I started learning the compensation plan. When we go to a company, part of what differentiated us was we understood their business. So when I would present to Isagenix, I would talk about associates. And I will tell you, just as a sidebar, when Isagenix says at events that they have this mantra of, if it's not good for the associate, it's not good for Isagenix, I will tell you that is fact. Every meeting that I was ever in with them where we wanted to charge associates fees. If you've been in Isagenix long enough, my first company was called eCount. eCount card was how you were paid before the ISA wallet card. And then if you noticed, if you're with the company, the card went from being an eCount card to on the back saying eCount issued by Citibank. And so that's the background, right? So I knew Isagenix as a company, but I knew many other companies. But I will tell you, Isagenix stands apart because of how they truly put the associate first. That is real. And I can tell you from many meetings, being on the other side, persuading them to charge fees to the associate because Citi wanted to be paid. And they would say, no, if it's not good for the associate, it's not good for us. So that's the first thing I'll tell you. So here's my background. We've sold a company. I have a great job. My family had a very high income from that company. And then also I leave Citibank at that point and I go, there's another company and I'm part of the founders group of another company, social media technology. I have an equity stake in this company, and this company is like a hot commodity in Philadelphia. People are talking about this company. They have a technology that's brilliant. And around that same time, when the company starts heating up, I started Isagenix. And because I loved it, I knew by day 5 that it was different. I knew I felt different. And because I loved it, I started telling some friends. And one of the women that was one of the first people that I talked about it was Denise Wilkins, who has been a partner in my life for many, many years on many different community service projects and many different opportunities. And she'll come back later as I talk about building a team. But I will tell you that I just started telling people. And then my story just takes a little bit of a turn because this woman calls me and leaves me a message. She found me in her blueprint reports. So guys, here's a second tip. Use your reports. Use your ISA Pulse. Look at who's enrolling. I had enrolled 5 people. So she called me and she said, I'd like to talk to you about the business. And frankly, I laughed. Imagine I had sold a company. I'm getting ready to sell another company. I'm not interested in a network marketing business. But I take her call. I honor her enough because I say, you know what? She called me. She took time out. I want to thank her for that and let her know nicely, not interested. When she gets me on the phone and I tell her, thank you so much, not for me. She said, do you mind if I tell you my story? And if you know Janny's story, she's amazing. She's the upline of Trisha as well. And many people in this company, I think she's personally mentored 12 millionaires. She's a millionaire herself, maybe in the 76 maybe. She has an unbelievable story. She has an incredible heart. Her husband played in the NBA for 14 seasons. And when she told me that, I thought, unless Bernie Madoff was their money manager, why would a woman whose husband had this illustrious career, long career, need the income of a network marketing business? And I asked her that. I'm pretty direct. I asked her that question, hopefully in a polite way. And she said, listen, it wasn't about the money. It wasn't because I needed a job. It was because I believe these products could truly help people. I believe it's a mission business and it was kingdom building. And if you guys have ever had a moment where you think, wow, that was something that came at a time when I needed it. I was starting to feel this darkness at corporate. And so personally, and I've told you my corporate story, but personally on my home front, my husband and I had 3 biological children. So we had at the time a 7-year-old daughter and 5-year-old boy-girl twins. And we had a live-in nanny for at that point, since the twins were 2 weeks old. We had a nanny who lived in our home because I traveled so frequently. My husband's a high school principal, so he's out a lot of nights. And we had a wonderful person. She became like family to us, and she lived with us. And she helped raise our kids and manage our house. And that was my life. But I had started feeling this darkness. And even though I prioritized being a mom to these 3 kids, a lot of times there were some tough decisions and sacrifices that had to be made. And I see that in all my friends who have, anybody who works, you're making sacrifices. And I used to be on the women's council. They used to bring me in for women coming back to work so I could counsel them. And with integrity, I told them things. And I still look at that person. I know with integrity, I was telling them, stop. I would be, I would be telling them, this fulfills who you are. This is part of your identity, is like being a professional woman. But guess what? Here's what I know now. What I know now is that I didn't know something like this vehicle existed. My husband and I have been looking for residual income vehicles for a long time. 13 years ago, we started buying investment properties at the Jersey Shore. We've talked about many different investment vehicles, a laundromat, a private parking lot consortium. We've been looking for how can we create income without having to be away from our family. And we hadn't found anything. And we've built a life that required 2 incomes. And I will tell you, even though I prioritized things, what happened was that I remember my oldest had been taking piano lessons, and it came time for a recital. She's not that adept at piano. She's new. She's got to perform in front of people, and she's terrified. And I look in her eyes. We get this piano recital notification, and we're working on, in my job, I'm working on the biggest deal my company had ever done. In the finalist presentation, when they come out and they say, this is the date that you're required to fly here and dog and pony to our team, was the same date as the recital. And you start making decisions. And I remember seeing my daughter's recital on FaceTime and knowing that there were other people there comforting my daughter. And those are the decisions people like me had to make, right? Because there's no other choice. But Janny's story speaks to me. And I want to tell you, don't be afraid to reach out to people that you don't think would be good fits for Isagenix. Don't make that decision for people. Imagine if someone would have made that decision for Janny Elo. Someone would have made the decision for me. She wouldn't have called me. She didn't even know me. I was her 4 PET. There were people in between us that weren't doing the business. But she called me because she had this fearlessness that what else? What would be the harm in asking her? And amazing that she did. And so she intrigues me with what she says about it being a mission business and being service and impact. And I know that's what's missing in my life. And I say, you know what? These products are awesome. I will share more openly. And guys, you'll meet people in life that I didn't do anything that was, if I was going to do it, I was going to do it. And I just started telling people. I was waving the Isagenix flag to people. I posted, but I did more than post. I reached out to people. If I knew you and you had said to me that you were a coffee drinking addict, I was writing you a message and saying, I don't know if you saw my post. I know you and I have been in the Starbucks line together many times. This stuff is unbelievable. You won't believe it. We should chat. I was writing to people and I was taking time. People say, how did you do it? I'm running a global sales department. I have 3 little kids and I manage our investment properties in another state. How did you do it? I don't have the time. And I want to tell them, I will show people on an as needed basis where I found the time, but I found the time. In November, when she first talked to me, I enrolled 14 people. In December, I enrolled 36 people. And people say to me, that's amazing. December, you're brand new. How did you enroll 36 people? And I tell them, it's a function of how many people I spoke to. Don't think that I don't think I only reached out to 36 people. I probably reached out to 300 people. But I knew. I was undeterred by the no's. I knew it was awesome. I knew it was great. And so I just kept telling people, and here was the game changers. It was fun. I was having so much fun with it. I was like, this is great. This is more fun than my job. I love it. I'm having such a blast. It's great. But I wasn't taking it very seriously. But here's the thing. She absolutely pursued me in a way my husband never pursued me about going to NYKO. She was relentless. And I thought, this lady is nuts. She lives on an opposite coast from me, and we're doing just fine. We're doing just fine with what she's doing. I'm in Philadelphia. She's in Spokane, Washington. I am not going to fly to Dallas. I have no time. I don't think I'm making enough money to justify that kind of expenditure. And I can learn what I need to learn right here from the comfort of my home. I don't have the time or desire to make a commitment to going to NYKO. I was calling it NICO for about 6 months, just to give you an idea of how little I knew about it. So here's the thing. 2 days before it was the kickoff. If there's an event happening, guys, in a month or a week, you haven't seen the last of the people that will attend, don't stop asking. 2 days before it was to happen, I got on a flight. I decided I was going to get on a flight. I booked a ticket 2 days before from Philadelphia to Dallas. And I will tell you, like most people, that event changed the course of my intention. And I walked out of there and said, get out of my way. This is unbelievable. We can make the most massive impact, and we can create something so beautiful. Get out of my way. Let's go. And I came home, and that's what we did. And here's the thing, guys. All those people that I was talking to, your vibe attracts your tribe. And am I not freaking lucky that my tribe included people like Denise Wilkins and Adrienne McGovern and Barb Kern and Tony Barbine, these women that I already adored, and I helped them see what I saw. Let them borrow my belief until they had their own. Let them put on the glasses, show them the vision. Just kept telling them, here's what it could be. I love the numbers component of it. So I would show them, guys, this is all that needs to happen. My gosh, look around. Executives, 31 people in your business. Let's go to a spin class. There's 31 people in this room. We can do this. This is not as difficult as we make it. We're making it. And so I tell you, my 3 kids they're just cool kids. I adore my kids, and they got so used to a mom that traveled. Gosh, we just got back from spring break yesterday, and we were walking through the airport, and I was like, guys, let me just tell you what it was like. We're coming into Philadelphia airport. Here I am in Terminal A. I used to fly into Terminal A often. And guys, I'd be running. It'd be 1 o'clock in the morning, and I would be running to the parking garage to get home to see you. I knew you'd be sleeping, but I would go in and just look at you and kiss your head because I was so glad to be home to you. And wow. Okay, so guys, here's the deal. So October, November 2013, I start these products. A crazy woman calls and takes this risk to talk to me about it. Gets me to an event in January, and we built like our life depended on it. I didn't have the time. Didn't really need the income at that point. Like we were good. But I just saw what was possible, and I thought, I am going to do this wholeheartedly because why not? So many people need this. I saw what had happened to me and my husband and my closest friends. So many people need it. And I would just refuse to be deterred. I even refused to be thrown off course and taken out of the game by people that weren't going to dictate my future or pay my bills. That was something I managed through. If you can manage your expectations and weather the emotional ups and downs of this business, you will win. Many people started at the exact same time as me. Many people had a much better position in the company. When people tell me they don't have a good position in the company, it sort of makes me laugh. Not one person was enrolled beneath me unless they made a wrong turn. I just want to tell you, the people that there actually is one person who was put in by accident, truly by accident, enrolled underneath me. So I'll just tell you that I'm on a double inside people that aren't building a business. There is not a bad position. That's a position that's called a go position, because go, if it's to be, it's up to me, go. And that's what I tell people. And so we just went for it. And I mean, I was just so excited about it. And it was more fun than my job. And here's really what happened. We started creating some serious income. But it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough to leave I certainly hadn't matched my income. And remember that we had this company that looked like it was getting ready to roadshow to be sold. But in May, I was in my upstairs, coming out of my bedroom, knowing that I was going to be late for my train. I took a train to New York City 2 days a week, generally Tuesdays and Thursdays from Philadelphia, meetings all day in New York. And I know I'm like busting out of my room, knowing I'm going to be late, high heels down my hallway. And at the time, my 7-year-old is walking out of her room. And if you have kids on the call and you've ever had a moment where you look at your kid and it's like seeing them for the first time, she has on a pair of jeans that are 4 inches too short. I stopped dead in my tracks and I said, I'm missing it. I am missing it. And for what? I'm running down the hallway and my daughter is wearing jeans that are 4 inches too short. At that point, you're asleep at the wheel. If your daughter has jeans in her closet that are that small, that she's able to put them on, you're asleep. I still had to go to New York that day. But the whole way, if you remember a record player and the needle would get stuck, the entire way from my house to 30th Street Station in Philadelphia, the record is stuck. The needle is saying, you're missing it for what? For what? You'll never, ever have this time back. I got on the train that day. I text my best friend from college. I said, Paige, I'm walking away. She wrote me back and she's very nice. She's very nice and said, she lives in New York City. She said, I'm going to meet you after work. Let's have dinner tonight. And basically it was essentially should have been videotaped for the show Intervention, because essentially her feedback was, you are going to walk away from this company before you sell it to go sell shakes out of your trunk. That's what you're thinking about doing. That's what I'm understanding. You want to sell shakes out of your trunk. I really feel like we should, talk to like a psychiatrist, a doctor, a physician, someone with like some knowledge of pharmaceuticals that maybe you could try sell shakes out of your trunk. That's what you're interested in. She was incredulous. She really had thought that I had lost it. She thought this like little shake thing I was doing was just a phase, but to actually say, I'm leaving my job. And if you've left your job, you literally take your ball and go home. You leave. You have this identity as a corporate person and take your ball and go home. Next day, you're jobless and whatever. That's what she's envisioning. And I said to her with such conviction, I said, what you don't understand and what I see is that we are going to take these products I'm obsessed with, and we are going to create a massive global distribution, and we're going to impact so many people. You should come with me. You should come along. And so I just knew that we were going to do it. And so one of the things that Janny knew about me was that I told you we have investment properties in another state. So anyone that knows Philadelphia, there are many people that spend summers at the New Jersey shore. And many people have homes there or rent homes there. And we have one of the houses that we have there we use. It's our family's own personal use home. But my kids had been these kids who are on the weekends. There's 12 weekends in our East Coast summer. And my kids, we drive down on a Friday night, rush hour traffic. Saturday would be unbelievable, all day on the beach till they shut us down. Sunday, great morning, head to the beach. Kids get off the beach. A lot of your friends are staying because they live here all summer or they're down for longer extended periods. But get off the beach so you can shower and get in your pajamas. We have to go home because we need to work on Monday morning. And here's the second thing I'll tell you is that Janny saw in me what I couldn't see for myself when she heard that we had this beach house, and we love the beach. Our kids love the beach. We pay out 12 months of the year on a house that we get to use for maybe 12 weekends, and that's it. But in May, when I told her I was walking away, I did. I left that company, left my equity on the table, and my kids got to live at the shore in the summer of 2014. And honestly, that's what we did. I literally sat there and watched my kids boogie board and was so present. And they will never forget that summer. It was unbelievable. And here's the thing. We talk about building a team. My neighbor at the shore, my whole beach house would fit in her kitchen. Okay. So my neighbor at the shore didn't need the money, didn't need a job. She'd stayed home. She, just like me, she has boy-girl twins. They're the same age. They're best friends at the shore. But she got on the products with her husband. And when I saw the vision, I didn't care that she didn't need the money or a job. I said, girl, we're going to take this to the moon. Grab everyone you love. We are going to create something unbelievable. She was like, are you crazy? You were in sales. You've got a big network. Because I went to 3 high schools and 3 colleges, and I'm fascinated with love for people. I keep in touch with a lot of people. She said, are you crazy? I could never do this. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I'm an introvert. Guys, she's about to be a 6-star in Isagenix in 2 years. I think that's pretty good for a woman who's a self-professed introvert. But we built this beautiful team, and she attracted a tribe. We're different people. She lives in a different state than me. She's way trendier than me. She's a cool person. She built her own unbelievable team. And we're so excited. When I was running sales teams, I would tell people, excite and confuse. So I would call you up and I would be so excited about our solution. You'd take the meeting. You don't even know what I was selling, but I was so excited about it. People want to be a part of that kind of excitement. And I am that excited about the opportunity. I talk to so many people. So here's what I want to talk to you about, building a team. So that's where my story has been, is that I walked away in just over 2 years. So in January, just this past January, Kathy Coover calls me and said, you and Doug have earned $1 million in Isagenix in just over 2 years. I mean, freaking unbelievable that that's where this opportunity can take you. But nobody does that. Nobody goes through this in massive success without building a beautiful team of people with a common mission. And you start to create possibility in people. And so people on this call, you'll hear from Deanna Falchuk later in One Team University. But I heard Deanna speak at ICU Miami. And she told her story, and I hope so much that she tells a very similar story when she shares her heart. But I heard her speak. And after hearing her, I called my husband and I said, Doug, we're going to need to look into fostering. It's on my heart so heavy. On my heart so heavy from hearing her talk. If not us, then who? And we've got the time and the resources now. Let's look into fostering. And I mean, if you knew me before, this live-in nanny ran our lives. She helped raise our kids. She literally was a huge part of our home, and she had gone and found another job. And I thought my husband would look at me and say, are you insane? Like you can barely wipe down our countertops, and you want to take on more kids, and you became a full-time mom to your own kids. But he was all in. It wasn't even a discussion. So in June of last year, we become certified foster parents, which in Pennsylvania is a process. And about a month ago, we get a call. I'm about to leave for Isoderby on a Tuesday. We get a call on a Wednesday, the week before, saying we have an emergency placement of a little boy. He's 2 years old, and we're wondering if you guys could take him. And we need to know immediately because he needs to come in about an hour. And so I am like, wow, I'm leaving for Isoderby. There is no way my husband is going to be able to take this on. But I'll call you back and just let you know. I'm going to give him the courtesy of just sharing it with him. I'll let you know, but I'm pretty sure it's a no. And when you build a beautiful team, this common mission, we have a common mission, is that this is so much bigger than us. The blessings God has poured out on us, how can we multiply them out into the world? And I call him, and I literally Didn't even get done telling him the situation. He goes, we got it. Let's do it. I said, Doug, are you sure? I'm leaving for Mexico next week. You're going to be on your own with 4 kids, and we don't know anything about this kid. Are you sure? He said, we got it. Tell them yes. Tell them bring him. So they bring this little boy. He turned 3 in our care. We've had him now about a month. We believed at the time that we were going to have him for about 3 weeks. And we believed that, his grandmother was going to be taking over his care. She was supposedly submitting paperwork. She was going to be taking over his care. And we come to find out, and we knew that for spring break, we had a trip to Disney World and then a Disney cruise planned for our family, my kids, my husband, me, and my parents. And we knew that was on our book. So we said, okay, well, he'll be with us for 3 weeks. That'll be right before we leave for our trip. Perfect timing. Great. This little boy just starts blossoming. He is awesome. He's come from such darkness. We're family that battled demons that you can't imagine, the neglect that he's known. But about 10 days before we're going to Disney, we get a message that his grandmother has withdrawn her interest. And he's going to be with us for an extended, unforeseeable amount of time. And so the choices, if you are going on vacation with your family, normally a foster child would go to respite care. So another stranger to them's home. And I looked at Doug and said, that is not going to be okay. But here's the situation. He had no birth certificate, no passport, and no ticket. And it's spring break from Philadelphia to Orlando. Flights are selling out. And at that point, I had about 6 days to make that happen. And if you know anything, I don't know what your state is like, but in Pennsylvania, it takes a month and a half to get a birth certificate. If you drive to Harrisburg, which is close to 2 hours from where we live, you can potentially get it in 3 business days. And I thought, wow, okay, that'll give me a birth certificate. But my travel agent, Denise Wiggins, she told me, you're going to have a passport because your Disney cruise goes out of the country. You need a passport. You have to have a passport for them. And by the way, flights are about to be sold out. So I said, all right, you know what? If God's will is for this kid to go, I'm going to do whatever I can. And here's what Isagenix gave me. I had all the time in the world to drive to Harrisburg, to wait. And I have the income to be able to say, whatever it costs, I don't care. I don't care. And so here is what happens in this divinity of this company is that I drive to Harrisburg, and this unbelievable woman, when I tell her his story, even though I'd never heard of anyone that this ever happened to, said, come back at 1 o'clock, I'll have it ready for you. Birth certificate's down. Now I have to go to get a passport, but you can't get an appointment. They're booked until the day that we are leaving on our flight. And so people said, you can't go without an appointment. If you go without an appointment, there's signs everywhere that say, if you don't have an appointment, you will be asked to leave. I said, you know what? I've got the time. I'll go to Philadelphia and I'll find out if that's true. And I go, and here's the second miracle, is that they say, come back in 3 hours and we'll have a passport. That doesn't happen. It's not even, I've talked to so many people and they're like, never, never, ever does that happen. That you go without an appointment, they let you in, and they told me to come back in 3 hours, they'd have a passport. So here I am with the little boy. And then I look at the tickets and Denise tells me it doesn't look good. The flight is about to be sold out. I don't know if I can get him a ticket. It's a cruise. We've got this whole other situation. Guys, it worked out. We just got back from the most unbelievable trip. And without Isagenix, we would never have had it. Nothing. To be able to say whatever it costs, whatever the time investment is, he will never forget it. And I will tell you, I don't care. I don't even know what it costs. I know it was a lot of money. I don't know what it cost, but it was worth every cent to be able to take him along. And that's what Isagenix does. It's creating a team. It's building this beautiful community. And fostering may not be your thing, but I will tell you, having a vision for what it could create, I don't care about the money or the income. I'm really unfazed by it anymore. But what I see is possibility. to free families, to rescue a little boy who's known only darkness. And there are so many other people that can benefit from this. As I talk more about just mechanically how you could potentially create a team, people say, how did you do it? 12,000 people on your team. How did you do it? These unbelievable leaders that are on fire. So here's a couple things that I'll tell you. I got this advice from Eric Coover very early on in Isagenix, and honestly, it served me so well. He said, every single morning when you wake up, write this down. Today, I allow myself to attract people who are. And then write the adjectives. I do it every day, and the adjectives are always different. They're always, always different. There's common things. So today, I allow myself to attract people who are influential, fire-filled, undeterrable, fearless, looking for an opportunity to change their lives, open-minded. They change every day. And I literally envision people flooding into my business. And if you read a book by Lynn Grabhorn called Excuse Me, Your Life is Waiting, it's a book that I love. I love so much that I have it on audio and I listen to it when I'm running on the treadmill. Excuse Me, Your Life is Waiting by Lynn Grabhorn. And what she says is it's about the emotion. The law of attraction is based on emotion. So I lock in on the feeling of what it's like to have those like-minded people flooding into my business for 14 seconds. They say that's the key, 14 seconds. And I'll tell you, I work very closely with Laurie Spiker on Trisha's team, and I adore her. And she's told me how much the attraction statements have changed who shows up. It's the truth. I don't know about you guys, but if I wanted to buy a new car, I was telling my kids, I said, I'm thinking about buying this new car. And I told them what it was. And they said, Mom, have we ever seen this car? And I said, I don't know. I'm going to look for one. And we start talking. I'm like, this is what it is. Guess what? The guy who lives 2 houses down from me drives that car. I start seeing them everywhere. The exact car. That's what happens because what you focus on, you find. That is the truth. And guys, I cannot tell you the kinds of people that have shown up in my life. It's like they're dropped there. And in order to attract those kind of people, you need to be the kind of person you want to attract. So if you're looking for positive, faith-filled, passionate, undeterrable, fearless kind of people, you will attract them when you're that kind of person. Your vibe will attract your tribe. I've seen it so many times. So many times. People get into this rut where they have a language issue. They've got bad language, and bad language will kill it every time. People will write me, I don't even know who they are, from other teams, and they'll go, I just can't get people to get people. I just can't build a team. None of my people want to build. And I think that's why your language is killing you. Killing your business because your language is so powerful. So I will tell you what I tell myself. I don't listen to the voices in my head who say, you'll never find another person. I tell myself, unbelievable people are flooding into your business. Your team is growing. There are more 6 figures being developed today than ever before on this team. It's incredible. Talk to yourself. Don't listen to yourself. When you create momentum, we build towards short-term goals. So the company has a 90-day game plan. That's beautiful. In my mind, I function really well in short sprints. I love a sprint. We do 30-day sprints. And so a 30-day sprint, here's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for people who have a burning desire to rank advance, and I'm putting them together. So one of the things that I'll do is I have a message thread. It's all people. It's a race to manager, a race to crystal director, a race to crystal executive. And that energy is combustible. When you get like-minded people focused on a goal, I don't care if they're financially connected, they're not related, they don't know each other. When people are going for it, your energy will push me to a whole new level. We create momentum. We've done great with having events. We've done amazing with celebrating. We have parties to celebrate accomplishments. We don't just have parties to have parties. We celebrate. And when you get people focused on celebrating, not comparing, celebrating their own personal accomplishment. I have to tell you guys, sometimes I go, man, that was a low cycle week for me. That wasn't great. I catch myself every time and I go, thank God for every single cycle. Every one. I don't care if it's one or it's 301. Celebrate it and create that culture in your team of celebrating a single cycle and recognizing it. DMO. Another thing that if people don't know what to do in this business, what do? They don't know what to do. They quit. Here's something basic that Susan Sly, daily method of operation, DMO. Thank you, Denise. DMO is a daily method of operation. Do you guys all know that a 333, if you're part-time, 333 is a good DMO, reaching out to 3 new people every day. Following up with 3 people every single day. And pouring greatness into people, 3 people every day. And if that's your goal, I literally don't want to go to bed unless I pour greatness into 3 people. If it's paying for the person in line behind me at a drive-thru, if it's writing to someone on my team and saying, you're on my heart. I was praying for you this morning. I think you're amazing. I cannot believe your before and afters. You rock. I just want to tell you, one of the things that I like to do in the morning is write out an attraction statement. This is what I say. I thought it could help you because I read one of your posts and I thought this might be interesting to you. I've written you privately. I sent you something. I sent you a voice message on Facebook Messenger. Pour greatness into 3 people and duplicate that. Give your team the ability to pour greatness into their own people. Empower people. That's another way that you're going to create momentum. So, for example, we've given people responsibilities before they believed that they were ready. They didn't believe they were ready to take on coordinating a team call, hosting a team call, running an event. Push you out of the nest, my friend, because you have it in you to be an amazing leader. And you won't know it yourself until you see it for yourself. Go. Be an amazing leader. Duplicate that. If people were expecting that I would do every 3-way call, that I'm the only one that can run an event, I'm the only one that can host a team party, can you imagine the kind of flat team we'd have? The goal, what I see Trisha doing every day, what I see people on my team doing every day is lifting up people, making them leaders. I don't need all the credit. I don't need all the responsibility. We will go far when you look down and empower other people, when you get them paid, when you care so much about their paycheck, that you're looking at the pools to say, here's how we can max this out. Here's what we can do. I want you paid. I've never had a better week than when I've been so focused on getting other people paid. I went from 7 to 8 star, and like 1 week I went 7 star. Maybe 2 weeks later, I went 8 star. Do you know what was happening during those times? I was laser focused on rank advancing people and getting people paid in the pools. It was all I cared about. A whiteboard just showed, here's who we can really have crush it in this week. Those messengers were going. We had full out momentum. It's electric. They call it ITF. So in the flow. When you're in the flow, you know it and you feel it. You know it and you feel it in the flow. And when you create this energy on your team, it's incredible. I remember a time, we talk about this often, it's happened again recently, but one of the most distinct times I remember, my hand was hurting from creating all these collages of rank advancement recognitions for our builders page. So many people were rank advancing at the same time, because what happens is energy feeds energy. Do you guys ever work in a place where you have this negative, horrible person? The whole office starts coming down But have you ever been around someone who's here, their energy, their optimism, their positivity? It's incredible. It's infectious. Smile at someone. I love to do this little experiment on my long commute. When I used to commute, I'm really quirky, so I just tell you guys that now. I used to do these social experiments in my car. I'm an only child, so I should tell you guys that too. So one of the things I would do on my commute is I would think about things that make me happy, and I'd smile in the car, and I would see how many people I could get to smile on the way. And I'd think about, I smile at this person, what could happen? Like maybe this has created a ripple effect. Try smiling at someone in a mall when you're walking down the street. They can't help it. They smile back. I do it all the time. I look at the person who looks the most miserable. I give them the best smile. I'm like, how are you doing? It's an awesome day. You look amazing. Look at your shoes. I love your shoes. You're incredible. It's so cool seeing you here. Just talk to people. When I was hiking up Camelback Mountain with Trisha and Laurie Spiker, and I was like, everyone that they saw, they passed. Good morning. How are you? It's like people are just so happy to hear that. You just bless someone's life. But do you see what that creates? It creates a smile. Imagine if you have a culture that you create that's like that, that's pouring into other people, loving on other people. You may not be into becoming a foster parent. You may not be into spending your summer at the beach, but Isagenix gives you a vehicle to do whatever you want, to bless this world in so many ways and leave anyone so much better than you found them. It's the coolest thing. How can you not get excited about that? The opportunity that you are a part of, that you have your hands in and have a hold of, is beyond amazing. If you've never been in a network marketing company, let me tell you, from the bird's eye view of the Direct Selling Association board, where I looked at every company with a cash position. I understand compensation plans better than probably the average person. There is nothing like Isagenix. And I will tell you, this company is only going to continue to get better and better and better. It's unbelievable what you have a hold of. Who can't get excited about that? I can barely sleep. It's almost 11 o'clock on the East Coast, and I get so fired up telling other people how incredible it is. I won't sleep tonight. I'll be writing people, messaging them. A couple things that I do. Trisha, I know we're almost out of time, but I'll just say a couple things that I do. I prospect everywhere I am. I first will ask people a ton of questions. When people say, oh, Isagenix never comes up, I'm shocked, because it can't not come up in any conversation. I'm on a Disney cruise. I'm talking to another mom. We're on this cruise talking about our kids and what we do. And she works and she tells me, oh, I said, is it an awesome job? No. Is it an awesome job? Maybe the best question you can ask someone if you want a business prospect. Do you love it? Is it great? It must be amazing. You've been there for 17 years. It must be the best job. No, it's horrible. Why are you still there? Oh, but girl, we need the money. Huh. Okay. Interesting. Inevitably, she's asking me what I do. It's so easy to share Isagenix. Standing in line. So here's an example that I've given before on another training. I think it's on YouTube, and people say it was a training that helped them. It was on prospecting. But I'll tell you that I went into Nordstrom to buy my daughter a gift. I'm talking to the woman. Do you know how few people talk to people that are transacting with, look them in the eye, and truly have an interest in them? I'm interested. People are fascinating. And by the way, I've got nothing but time. So I'm talking to the woman. I just was asking her about herself. And I used to work at Nordstrom for 4 years in college. I worked there, and I was asking her about questions about work in Nordstrom these days. And here it turns out that this woman had this unbelievable corporate career, but she left to raise her daughter. She then goes through a terrible divorce. She's forced back into the workforce, but she can't take a job. She had been a management consultant, which anyone, if you know anything about that, that's an insane amount of hours and a crazy travel schedule. She knew she couldn't do that. And she'd been out she'd been taking herself out of the game for a long time. It was difficult to find the kind of job that she thought kind of was commensurate with what she'd been doing years before. Takes a job at Nordstrom. Clearly, it was not a great job. She's working nights, weekends. She's not getting paid. We start talking. I related to this woman. And I'll tell you what, I tell her about Isagenix, and she's like, I could totally do that. I could so do this business. Can you imagine what this could do? Her daughter's about to go to college. Can you imagine what this could do for her family? Literally, I am so excited. I told you guys, excite and confuse. I just get so excited when I hear about this woman's situation and what this opportunity could do to bless her life. What these products could do for this woman who's running on fumes. That's exciting in itself. But when you think beyond that, you are in the casting vision business because people can be wildly blessed. Wildly blessed. You can be wildly blessed because you and me and Jenny Elo and the Cepedas, we all got the same box. It said Isagenix, had products in it. You have the exact same opportunity as Susan Sly. Is that amazing? And your success in this business relies on staying in the game, sharing a vision, casting the opportunity, and building this beautiful tribe of people set on creating a massive impact. That's what this business is. We complicate it. We make it difficult. We start telling ourselves these stories. We start getting in our own heads and we take ourselves out of the game. But the momentum comes in the flow, that feeling, that energy and vibration that literally I think is truly visible. You can almost see it. The energy is just alive. Guys, that comes from in here. It starts here. It starts with who you're attracting. And then it's who you are. When you stay the course in this business, when you're undeterrable, you will create something so beautiful. So, so beautiful. And I'm so excited to see you guys. I'm going to be training at ICU Newark, April 7th and 8th. April 8th and 9th? April 8th and 9th. So anyone who's going to be there, I'm sharing on the why. And my why is huge. Your why needs to be huge. It needs to be so strong that you're undeterrable. Because I promise you're in the right company at the right time and you've got an amazing team. And even if you feel like you're on a team of one, that's amazing to be on a team like that. This is what will happen. Trisha, thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh, girl. I have taken 3 pages of notes.
I can't see that to confirm that, but that's awesome. I'm so glad.
I'll show everybody else. They can all vouch for me.
Okay, very good.
You are so absolutely beautiful, Jessica. I mean, twice, maybe cry, laughter. I mean, I just love you so much. And I wish you could see all of our faces because we were so engaged and so grateful for what you shared tonight. Everybody, just because of time, I would love for you guys to get on, just get on a post in our pro page and we can tag Jessica. And I want you to share just some of your takeaways and some of the things that you're going to apply, whatever breakthroughs or shifts you had. And Jessica, I just want you to know, I mean, we are so grateful for your time. I know how busy you are. I know it's late. And you lead by example. I know how much you love. Love really is everything. It's what drives us. And it's so obvious. That's one of the reasons why you've been so successful. So thank you, honey.
You know I have love for you. That's for sure. And I cannot wait to see you in Maui.
Thanks, babe.
No.
You know what? I have to finish with this one thing because we've been talking about the universe. I never wear this shirt, ever. And I just realized tonight that I was wearing this shirt today when I got my phone call. I don't know if you can't see my shirt, hon, but I'm wearing my Top Achievers shirt from last year.
My favorite T-shirt.
I never wear it. So
That's
yes,
incredible.
universe is ready to bless us. We just have to be welcome to it.
Absolutely.
All
So
right.
proud of you. Thank you guys so much.
You are so welcome. The recording we post on YouTube, guys, and I'm saving the chat so you guys can use that if you want to look at the quotes and stuff as well. Have a fabulous night, guys. We will see you next week.
Thank you guys. Have a great night.
Carolyn Tweetmeyer next week. You don't want to miss it.